This here makes no sense. This is Solana's dominance. How much of all of crypto is currently in Solana measured by market cap. It tries to find out how important Solana is relative within crypto. Does it currently outperform or underperform? And in the last 5 years, we traded in a range. Now, since December of 2024, Solana tended to underperform. That underperformance accelerated and now we broke out of it. By the way, isn't it fascinating how those tops align perfectly with those bottoms on parallel lines? This tends to happen frequently within crypto. I think those are almost self-fulfilling prophecies. If enough people look at those random lines, they become reality. In other words, if enough people think that an asset is expensive, it tends to get sold. When enough people think that an asset is cheap, it tends to get bought. And simply because everybody has the same perception about an asset, that's in the end what happens. If everybody thinks it's cheap and people buy, then the asset bounces, then the price goes up again. Now, what's so interesting about this recent decline is that we suddenly broke out. And that would indicate that Solana could outperform all the way to the top again. But it didn't. The rally suddenly stalled. So what happened here? Now, there are several ways to look at dominance charts. This is just the pure way, sol.d. But we can also have a look at Solana relative to the rest of crypto, excluding the stablecoins. The picture looks almost the same. We got our breakout, but that rally did not last. Now, this is Solana's market cap relative to crypto, not just excluding the stablecoins, but also excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that measure is called Total 3 ES. Total 3 being crypto without Bitcoin and Ethereum. ES standing for excluding stablecoins. And on this chart, it suddenly makes sense. It makes sense why the rally didn't continue. Solana, as a fraction of all of crypto, without the majors and without stablecoins, is still in its bearish trend. It is still not above the resistance and the potential. Bearish momentum could lead to an underperformance of 37% in the short term. My impression is that that's actually the most likely scenario, that Solana will not continue to outperform. The breakout in the first place was already a surprise because crypto is still in a bear market. Bitcoin continues to go down. Bitcoin continues to see less and less activity on chain. Ethereum is also struggling. So why should a more risk-on asset like Solana suddenly continuously outperform? There is, of course, the real-world asset narrative, but many blockchains capture that narrative. Solana still, in practice, is mainly meme coins. Have a look at most liquidity of the trending tokens on the Solana chain. We've got Pump, so that's the meme coin launchpad on Solana. We've got Fartcoin, that's a meme coin. We've got Cerebro, we've got Troll. We've got so many meme coins. And this is not the time to trade meme coins. Things continue to rather struggle. Nobody wants to hear about meme coins. This year is the total value locked, or the capital that's currently on the Solana chain, measured in US dollars. Also, not necessarily a reason why there has been this breakout. Why would suddenly the negative momentum turn around? And again, Solana relative to the rest of crypto, when we do not look at Bitcoin or Ethereum, and if you remove the stablecoins, it is in its negative trend. And that's confirmed by the capital that's currently on the chain. Now here's Solana's total value locked, or capital measured in SOL. So this way we remove the price fluctuations of Solana and we just look at decentralized finance activity in an isolated way. Still, this year has not been a lot of growth, even measured in SOL tokens. Granted, some numbers look good. For example, the number of transactions on Solana over time. That continues to grow. But how much of that is natural growth? Because here we've got the app revenue measured in Solana. That just tends to go sideways. We had quite a bit of growth in revenue leading into the peak at the beginning of last year. That was meme coin trading. Then meme coin trading imploded. People lost their money. And so now we are just at a constant hum. One of the cleaner metrics is probably the number of addresses. Now this can also be manipulated, but it's very costly to manipulate this long term. And the trend also is not that favorable for Solana, right? It continues to go down, which makes sense. After Memecoin trading imploded, there is less and less activity on Solana, given that Solana still is mainly about meme coins. The cleanest of the metrics is probably the stablecoin market cap, because those don't fluctuate and those show how much hard money is actually entering or exiting the ecosystem. And again, there is no growth here. There's no contraction either, but at least there's no growth. And so the way I interpret this is that Solana is not necessarily dead. It simply has a hard time growing in a market environment like this. Here is Solana relative to Bitcoin. And in the early days, it of course outperformed massively. Since the middle of 2021, it tends to trade in a range versus Bitcoin. We are currently in the middle of that trading range. But fundamentally, the issue is that Solana, relative to Bitcoin, it trades like a levered bet. So when Bitcoin goes down, then Solana goes down even more. When Bitcoin goes up, Solana goes up more. In other words, if we want Solana to long-term go up versus the rest of crypto, especially versus Bitcoin, we need to see Bitcoin going up. Bitcoin appreciating by 10% might mean Solana appreciating by 20 or 30%. That means, however, that we need to be long-term bullish on Bitcoin if we want to buy Solana. And I personally still wait. This is the net unrealized profit and loss on Bitcoin, and it has not yet gone into the negatives. The average Bitcoin investor had to be in unrealized losses at the end of every prior bear market until we turned around. And we are not there yet. The realized price of Bitcoin, so the average cost basis per Bitcoin, is at $53,000. If Bitcoin still stays above that, I don't see this bear market ending. And that then, as a consequence, also means a struggling Solana price. And I would not be surprised at all if we actually do see that sell-off, if Solana now sells off versus the rest of the crypto market. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish here regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. Feel free to also check out the premium membership. That's over here. That's also in the pinned comment down below. See you next time. Cheers.